So this is a inverse. I guess it's a Zack Snyder introduces the 2024 superhero issue. This is I guess this is inverse digital magazine. So I'm going to read this. You can like it, you can hate it. Maybe it's not as bad as what happened with Joker Folie Adieu. I've accepted the movie. I accept that Connor Story is Joker or is the young Heath Ledger. I guess if you think Heath Ledger's 40 years old in The Dark Knight. So I'm going to read this whole thing. The director of 300, Justice League, and more teams up with Inverse for a special issue all about talking superheroes and comic books, taking them seriously. You don't have to take them seriously. You can have fun with them, but here we go. Zack Snyder's superhero issue. This is Zack Snyder talking. As someone who grew up immersed in the endlessly inspiring pages of comic books, my journey began with the provocative pages of Heavy Metal, an anthology that opened my eyes to the limitless potential of illustrated storytelling. Heavy Metal was a revelation. It showed me that comics can go beyond superheroes and children's tales, delving into truly adult themes like sexuality, violence, and morality. What stood out to me was the work of many European artists and writers who brought different, more mature perspectives. One noted in a distinctly European morality, especially regarding sex and graphic illustration. This shift in perspective changed how I saw illustrated storytelling. I began to understand that comics could explore complex, raw, and uncomfortable themes in ways that felt both mythological and artistic. From there, I delved into the seminal works of Frank Miller's Ronin and The Dark Knight Returns. These iconic narratives reshaped my understanding of comic books, revealing them as profound reflections of our society. One of the most transformative moments for me was in The Dark Knight Returns with the line, "The rain on my chest is a baptism, I'm born again." This moment transformed Batman into something larger than life, a mythical figure whose struggles were not just physical, but deeply emotional. Yet at the same time, Miller made him profoundly human. He wasn't just a superhero defying pain, he was a man confronting the very real toll of time and struggle, determined to rise above it and find his own relevance in the world. In this way, Batman became a mirror for our own struggles. His mythic battle against evil reflected the very human challenges we all face, especially as we wrestle with identity, purpose, and the passage of time. It was this depth that drew me into the world of adult comic books and made me realize their potential to explore universal themes. The evolution of the superhero from something raw and human, as seen with Batman, moves into more complex territory with Alan Moore's Watchmen. Here, the superhuman concept reaches its final form in Dr. Manhattan. One of the most impactful moments for me in Watchmen is when Wally Weaver says, "God exists and he's American." If that statement starts to chill you, a feeling of intense and crushing religious terror at this concept indicates only that you are still sane. Dr. Manhattan is no longer just a superhero, he's something far greater and more terrifying, an embodiment of ultimate power detached from humanity. This concept of religious terror at the idea of godlike figure being reduced to a tool for national interest is a far cry from the traditional superhero narrative. Dr. Manhattan, who starts as a protector and an agent of the US government, ultimately evolves into something so distant from human experience that he regards people as insignificant. The world's smartest man is no more important to him than the world's smartest termite. As he says later, this shift in perspective forces us to confront the darker side of power. When someone or something with the capacity to save humanity no longer feels any connection to it. While we often turn to comic books and superheroes for escapism or entertainment, I urge you to look deeper. Within the colorful panels and extraordinary characters lies a rich tapestry for our modern times and culture. Comics have become our mythology, deconstructing themes of sexuality, violence, morality, and politics. This collection of reported stories about superheroes that I helped to develop with Inverse is distinctly grown up, from a close look at Superhero King to a history of Batman's love life to the shaping of morality in comics, plus enlightening interviews with two legendary comic book creators. We look at the genre as adult readers with adult lives and adult points of view. In these narratives, we see the mirroring societal struggles, whether it's the critique of the authoritarianism in The Dark Knight Returns, or the exploration of power and ethics in Watchmen. Superman is a metaphor for human right and human might, and political figures like Nixon and Reagan, cast with graphic narratives, offer us a lens through which to examine the social and political landscapes of their times. These characters and stories challenge us to reflect on the ethical and moral implications of power, heroism, and governance. As we turn the pages of our favorite comics, I invite you to appreciate them not just as entertainment, but as an often profound commentary on our shared human experience. In the vivid interplay of word and image, we find a mirror reflecting the triumphs, tribulations, and transformative movements of the 20th century and beyond. Let's continue to explore, question, and celebrate the depth and diversity of this remarkable art form. Yours, Zack. And classic, I always think it was that old man trying to figure things out. Now, I tell you, I still didn't like Rebel Moon was just the uncut stuff was better, but Rebel Moon was kind of a mess. Now, it is sad that he's gone. We got the newer versions. I recently checked up on Ping Pong Flicks. Yeah, he's a YouTuber. Now he's retired. He's got just vlogs now. No more doing DC updates. No more Kaiju or Godzilla or Kamen Rider Power Rangers. Now he's just doing whatever, talking about whatever. I think he seems to like the new versions of Superman. I think the James Gunn, I just don't care about James Gunn stuff. I tried to get into the Suicide Squad, failed. So I remember one time I talked about why can't we have a movie that's in between what Zack Snyder was doing, what James Gunn is doing, something that's a little bit adult, a little bit kids. I don't think every single superhero movie to be should be deep adult, but I think we could deal with these seven characters, right? Or actually seven with Martian Manhunter. I think that yeah, it should be more serious. And then you have other ones like Plastic Man and Blue Beetle and Hawkman and some of the lesser known like the Legion of Superheroes. They could be funnier. They could be fun. Legion of Superheroes, you could have like J.J. Abrams direct that one where it's like Star Trek, right? Where it's a bright, colorful future. They're just like their powers and doing crazy shit. I don't know. I just I don't care for what's happening right now. I am going to try to see Venom 3. Superman and Lois is whatever it is. Either it's going to end well or not at all. So, yeah. Thank you, Zack Snyder, for all the work. Uh, and we'll see what the next movies take us to. Other that, or we just live in our basements watching the old movies.